Hi there, folks, and welcome to the Word Solutions for this week's The Daily Rigour, issue number 120. So, big sports story this week. There's a new world record set for a marathon by a Kenyan athlete, and he actually beat his compatriot's effort set back in the same competition in 2014. So, by how many seconds did he win this record? Well, we're essentially taking the two times away from each other, but because they're both 2 hours and something, I mean, this is just written in the proper format. 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 57 seconds. So we can actually just take the minutes and seconds away from each other. So because they're both 2 hours and something. So 1 minute and 39 seconds, we can change that into seconds. So it's 60 seconds in a minute plus the 39, which is 99 seconds. And then we can change the 2 minutes and 57 seconds into seconds also, just because it maybe make it a wee bit easier taking them away from each other. So this is two lots of 60, which is 120. Add the 57, which is 177 seconds. So we can figure out by how much he beat the record by taking these two times away from each other. So he won by 78 seconds. So I elected to do it that way. You could also have just taken the minutes and the seconds away from each other separately, but the question did ask to give it in seconds, so that's why I chose to do it that way. So over a minute, he's shaved off that world record for the marathon time, so well done him. Okay, so onto our entertainment story. So Lord Sugar announced on Twitter that The Apprentice is coming back for its new series in October, actually in the 3rd of October. So 18 candidates last year, and usually one wins, but there was the unprecedented event last year with both Sarah Lynn and James White won. So before the show began, what was the probability of a candidate winning the show? So there was two chances of winning out of a possible 18 chances, because of course probability can be written as a fraction, but it can be written as a fraction in its simplest form. So of course we can simplify this fraction by dividing top and bottom by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 18 divided by 2 is 9, so they had a 1 in 9 chance of winning, but probably back to a 1 in 18 chance this year. So into our business story. So Tesco have been struggling in the old profits department. So one idea that they've come up with is this new discount chain called Jack's, which is going to maybe try and see them rival Aldi and Lidl for kind of cheaper prices. So we've got a wee price comparison down below, and we're asking which supermarket is offering the best deal for Granny Smith's apples. So obviously we need to find the cost for one apple in each store. So Jack's, it's going to be £1.25 divided by 5, and that's going to come to £0.25. But of course, that's just 25 pence per apple, isn't it? So for Aldi, it's £1.19 divided by 6. And if we do that, we don't get as nice a looking answer. It's 0.198333 recurring for the price of an apple. But if you multiply it by 100, it's basically just 19.8 pence, isn't it? So for Lidl, it's £1.39 divided by 7, and look at that, it comes to 0.1985742 dot dot dot. So that would also be 19.8 pence per apple. So I think to determine which one's the best deal, we've actually then got to look at the fourth decimal place. So Aldi's got a 3, Lidl's got a 5, so this number is smaller, and therefore it's cheapest per apple. So what we can say is that Aldi is offering the best deal, as it is cheaper per apple, but only just. So we'll watch the launch of this new store with great interest, because they're rivaling Aldi. Their idea is to rival Aldi and Lidl, but in Granny Smith's alone, they're actually still dearer than everyone else. Okay, so obviously, as you know, at the Daily Rigour, we love the chase, and there's some great snaps of the Prime Minister shouting out answers to the popular game show in a new behind the scenes documentary. So I noticed this once. So in a final chase, Anne Hegarty was asked the square root of 16. She said 4, and she was accepted. And this was accepted as the correct answer. But then in another episode, Mark Lebet was asked square root of 25, and he said plus or minus 5, and that was also accepted. So can we explain why the Beast gave this answer instead of just 5? Well, it's because 5 squared and minus 5 squared both give an answer of 25 because 5 times 5 is 25, but minus 5 times minus 5 is also positive 25. And I think the way we think about it is that 4 is like the normal person's answer, isn't it? That's the bog standard answer that we would accept as true because if it's to do with Pythagoras, it's to do with length, so negative values wouldn't really come into it. But then, of course, for a mathematician, they have to say the positive and the negative value. So that's kind of the reason why Mark Lebet gives a more detailed answer. It's because before he was a chaser, he used to be a maths teacher. So anyway, folks, there you have it. That was our word solutions for the Daily Rigour issue number 120. We hope you enjoyed solving these problems as much as we did making them. So stay tuned for next week's edition when we'll be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.